February 4th, 2024, last year, we got on a one-way flight to Brazil. And since February of last year, we have traveled to 10 different countries. We've been back in the U.S. to visit 3 times. This is our 3rd visit back in the U.S. since we left the U.S. to live abroad last year as digital nomads. And people are always asking, what is this lifestyle like? How do you do this? How have you made this lifestyle possible? So yeah, we're here to be a resource for you. We're here to answer whatever questions you have and just to talk about what it's been like being back here. So again, this is our 3rd visit to the U.S. since we left the U.S. to live abroad. So it's not like it's our first time back here. I would say every time we do come back here, it is kind of like a different, not even a different feel, but it's a different feel from being abroad, I will say. But at the end of the day, we have a ton of family and friends here. So we appreciate a lot of things about the U.S. We're not going to sit here and pretend like, oh my God, we're going to leave and never come back, etc. But yeah, that's kind of the spiel. So I guess we can go ahead and get into it. Please don't forget to double tap, by the way. Please like and share the live. Please just don't come in here and lurk. Remember, the Instagram is for lurkers and TikTok is for lovers. So please make sure that y'all are double tapping. I really appreciate it. Okay, so getting into let's talk about from the last time we were abroad versus here. So we went to Merida, Mexico. I believe it was February 24th. And we were in Mexico. We left we left April 30th. So it was 2 months and a week that we spent in Mexico. Thank y'all for double tapping. Mm-hmm. It was 2 months and a week that we spent in Mexico. And Mexico is my favorite country. So I feel like I'm already sad just thinking about the fact that we're not there right now. But what do you feel like is the biggest thing that you miss about Mexico, or the biggest difference that you feel here being back in the U.S. versus whenever we were in Mexico?
I guess the food, the quality of food.
Why am I not surprised that food is your answer?
Man, I love to eat.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I feel the food in general. Definitely make some tacos, and just in general, just fresh produce. That's one thing definitely. I can definitely say I miss. I love cooking and stuff. So you can definitely tell when you go to stores abroad or out the country, you get fresh produce and you can actually smell the produce compared to here.
We had a good pineapple here the other day. I can smell that pineapple too.
Yeah, but that's very foreign here and stuff like that. That's you have to go look for that. It's not you don't get it so often compared to when you abroad and shit. You go to the store. As soon as you go into the produce section, you can smell all the produce.
Yeah.
You can smell pepper. I love spicy stuff. So you can smell habanero pepper. You can smell when you're close to it. Any kind of chilies. You can smell the fruits, the mangoes, the pineapples, and all that stuff. The variety of different foods that you do have and stuff.
Yeah, when you walk in the grocery store in the U.S. here, it's very rare that it actually smells like fruit. Yeah. Versus whenever you are abroad, it's as soon as you walk in the produce section, you can really smell the fruit.
The smell and all that.
And I think also, in Merida specifically, they have a lot of fruterias. So these little they're these mini stores. It's not, it is a store, but it's small, and they're called fruteria, or fruteria to be a venderita, which is for vegetables. And it's also nice because I feel whenever it comes to the food, I feel whenever we are abroad, you feel a lot more you're supporting the local community. Mm-hmm. Versus here in the U.S., it feels like everything is a chain, or just
it's just capitalism. That's pretty much what it is. The big companies are all they kind of dominate the business and stuff like that. And if you do want to help a small community, small business and stuff like that, you're gonna end up paying more. So most of the time, people gotta go to even though you want to help your small business, but most of the time, if you're gonna scare some money, you want to be frugal with your money and stuff like that. Most people will end up going with the big companies, the big stores that we all love and go to all the time and stuff like that. Like I said, that is what people. That's what I see. That's how I see it and stuff.
Yeah.
And even just the same thing. It even goes the same thing with foods, in when I was abroad and stuff like that. That's a lot of people that's making their own, individual people that's making their own. They have their own small businesses. That's they're selling trays, selling cookout, whatever. The people still do that in the U.S. and stuff like that. But it's just the price of stuff is just insane. Like, you know, you trying to buy something.
Like, you go to a cookout and, like, it's like $15 for, like, a plate of food.
No, I'm talking about.
Thank you for the gift.
I'm talking about somebody, like, let's say you would, like, starting a business and you want to do sell plates and stuff at your house or whatever it is. Like, you would have to, like, you know, put the price compared to whatever you kind of, like, you know, you selling compared to, like, how much groceries compared to, like, you know, even though your food is going to be better, you might have to charge a little bit more compared to a regular store.
Well, you also have to charge more because you don't have the resources that, like, I mean, you don't have, like, the big, you know, whatever, like, as a small business. Thank you, Amira, for the gift. Thank y'all for the heart. So Miss Amira said, new here, sorry, but where were you living? Why did you come back? So that's a great question. So because we are digital nomads, that means, like, we move around from place to place. So since February of last year, we have been in Brazil, Vietnam, Spain, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, China, Panama, Colombia, and Mexico. So we've actually been in 10 different countries outside of the United States since we left last year. Like I said, this is our third visit back to the U.S. So as far as, like, why we came back, we come back here to visit. Like, we still have a ton of family and friends here. You know, our parents are older. So, like, even though we spent a lot of time abroad, thank you. Even though we spent a lot of time abroad, we do still come back to the U.S. to visit. Yeah, so we haven't gotten to a point where we've just picked one place to just stay there. We've just been gallivanting the globe. But yeah, so other things as far as, like, being abroad versus being in the U.S. I've talked about this on my page time and time again, but also I think, like, car culture is a really big thing for, like, whenever we are abroad. So I always tell people, whenever you are moving abroad, living abroad, and we're talking about the city you choose, and we're also talking about the specific house or apartment that you're using. Thank y'all for the hearts. Whenever it comes to choosing the place that you're going to live when you are abroad, you really need to consider your wants, your needs, and your non-negotiables. Hold on. What would be your suggestion for someone looking to move who hasn't experienced anything yet? Do you mean like you've never traveled abroad at all? Is that what you mean, Amira? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Hopefully I am. Wait, what was I saying? I need, like, a pencil to, like, write things down. Okay, you haven't traveled abroad yet. So my recommendation would be to travel first. Before you decide to just, like, go and uproot your entire life from one country. Like, I would actually get out there and, like, travel a little bit first, because I feel like a lot of people online, you know, they make living abroad look like it's, like, the sexiest thing in the world, and it is. Like, it's fun and it's cool, and you're being immersed in these different cultures, and it's really fun, but it's not. Everything has its advantages and disadvantages. So I always tell people, I'm not going to be the person to tell you, like, just go and start your life all over if you are not somewhat well traveled. So what I would recommend, Amira, is I would recommend trying to do some sort of slow travel trip. So somewhere that you can stay for, I would say like minimum a week.
Yeah, a week, 2 weeks would be good.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks would be great. I mean, a month would be fabulous. 2 weeks would be great. 1 week, and in my opinion, you really want to give yourself at least a week, because when you stay somewhere for a week, a lot of times, right, if you're going to stay in one spot, you know, you're going to be able to experience a lot more of what it feels like to live abroad, right? If you're not just out, like, doing, like, excursions and stuff every day. So my recommendation would be, like, pick a place to slow travel. And thank you so much, Misha, for the roses. And, you know, start where you are. That's another thing that I tell people all the time is, like, you know, don't look at everybody else and think, like, oh, well, I want to go move to Thailand. If you've never even traveled out of the U.S., I'm not telling you, like, not to travel to Thailand. Thailand's incredible, but, you know, start where you are. So my biggest piece of advice would be to just start where you are and start traveling first. And I do actually have a free guide at the link in my bio specifically for travel newbies, specifically for people who have never left the U.S. before, for how to plan your first trip, even if you are on a budget. You are so welcome. And someone else said, this is what I'm trying to achieve with my husband by the end of the year. I don't want to sign another lease, period. Misha, when is your lease up? I mean, that's how we did it. Our lease was up in our townhome January of last year. And then, yeah, we left. Our lease was up basically January 31st. We paid for like a few extra days. And then we literally left on February 4th last year. And there are some people out here who were like, they don't want to wait to leave. And they end up deciding to, you know, travel while paying rent at home. Like, I'm not in your pockets. Like, if that's something that you can do, then, you know, go for it. I want to spend the next few years traveling. Listen, I highly recommend it. Like, I will tell you, like, it becomes tiring. Like, we can attest to that. it's a really cool. It's fun, but it can become exhausting. So just be mindful about like know yourself is what I will say. Any advice that you would give, baby?
About what?
Somebody who is wanting to travel, or somebody who's interested in moving abroad but they've never traveled.
Obviously just like do it slowly. Find somewhere you want to go. Also, I guess you probably stay close to home. I guess if that's what this is your first time doing it. So I guess some places like in Mexico would be good to start with.
Yeah.
Anywhere down south would be good, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, when you start going like Brazil, Argentina, it gets pretty far.
Any Latin American country like Mexico, any of those neighboring countries on there, that'd be easier to go. So it'd be easier to come back home if you need to. What else?
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you for being honest. Yes, Thailand was on the list. You are welcome. Yeah, we love Thailand. Thailand is actually it's his number one favorite country. It's like my number 3 favorite country. So we are full supporters of traveling to Thailand, 100%. Okay, you said December. Okay, yeah. So and honestly, I feel like that's such a good number, right? To have like 6-7 months to plan it. Like that is, I think. We decided we were going to leave in October. We left in February. So we were like 4 months. But now, to be fair, we did think we were going to move to Florida. So we knew we were going to be moving. We just didn't know that we were going to leave the country. We ended up changing our minds. So, yeah. Trying to get residency in the EU. What's the easiest way? Mentally wealthy coach. So whenever it comes to visa stuff, I always tell people you have to look up the specific country. So
and also it changes so often, especially with the stuff, the environment that we are living out. So
yeah, so you want to make sure that you're looking up the specific country that you want to get into. I mean, digital nomad visas are, in theory, one of the easier ways to get residency right now, but it also depends on the country. Like some countries offer really good, like retirement visas. I don't know how old you are, but I'm saying like when it comes to visas, obviously every situation is different. And I do also, by the way, y'all, I forgot to say this earlier. I did put my Move Abroad bundle back in my bio. I don't know how many people in here are new. I should have asked that earlier. But my Move Abroad bundle, it's been out of my bio for a while, but I put it back in there for anybody who is serious about leaving the U.S. and you're like, I need help getting started. I need a little mindset reset. I need to understand what is my step-by-step process. How do I find housing? Which countries are going to be best for me? All of that is in my Move Abroad resource guide, and you can use the promo code ABROAD 2025. For 50% off. Last question. Girl, you can ask as many questions as you want. I'm trying to live abroad, just my 2 kids and single. Is it safe though? I mean, how safe do you feel in the US? That's the question that I want to bounce back to you.
Well, all the 10 countries that we've been to, we feel most unsafe in this country.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. So use that answer to what you would to make your decision.
Yeah. When people say, are there any countries where you feel unsafe? And I'm like, the US. And of course, not everywhere in the U.S. and not all the time, but I definitely find myself more like on alert here. And listen, I'll be very transparent with you. Like we have traveled to countries that are considered dangerous. Like, and I always tell people, like, whenever it comes to safety, that's something that has to be between you and you, right? Like there's nothing that I can say or do. And nobody, there's nothing that anyone can say or do in terms of like, you know, making you feel safe. Like you have to think about what safety means for you. And obviously you can look into like the top safest countries, right? Places like Iceland or Switzerland or Japan, Netherlands. Like you can look into countries that don't have a lot of crime, but I also want you to just consider. I lost my train of thought. What was I about to say?
Well,
oh yeah. Huh?
You can finish what you're saying.
I was about to say, I also want you to consider, like, a lot of times people will ask me if certain countries are safe. And y'all, countries are massive. Like, that's the thing. Like, we have a tendency to look at countries like they're cities, right? Like, yes, there are places like in the US that are, you know, a lot sketchier than others, just like anywhere in the world. Yeah, just like anywhere in the world. So, you know, whenever it comes to like the safety thing, like if that is a big concern for you, honestly, my biggest piece of advice would be to go to a city where you can look up and you can see like what the crime rate is and see what's comfortable for you. But I mean, you know, we've been in Mexico and Colombia and Brazil and, you know, these places that have a reputation for being dangerous, and we have felt safe in all of these places.
Yeah, we was in Merida, like we just came back from. That is a city in Mexico, and despite everything that you guys have heard about how bad and how dangerous Mexico is, Merida is the second safest city in Latin America, right?
Yeah, in Latin America.
That is in Mexico, guys. So let's just say that. So like, stop listening to a whole bunch of people and the news and a whole bunch of stuff.
The propaganda.
The propaganda thinking like, no, Mexico is bad. And a lot of questions, the stupid question I get, the stupidest question I get from people is, have you seen cartels? Are they cartels?
Oh my God.
There's gangs member everywhere you go. Like, there's people, like, your neighbor might be a gang member. Like, he's crazy or whatever it is. So it's like, don't be thinking there's gang members everywhere. Also, if you're looking for something, if you're going to look for trouble or you're looking for something, you will find it. So, like,
just like in the U.S. Exactly. Literally, just like in the U.S. So,
like, if you're looking for trouble, you will find trouble. Like, if you mind your business, people mind you. Like, just the same thing. That is my thing. And just in life and when I'm traveling, like, everybody's the same. Mind your business. That's the number one rule in the world. It doesn't matter where you. That's a little dramatic.
It is. That's a little dramatic.
I was like, as long as you mind being vigilance and stuff, don't go in places that that is like a little sketchy. And don't be naive either.
You're not gonna drive your Tesla to the projects in Detroit and be like, you know what I mean? Like, and in some places you don't even gotta be there. Like whenever we were in. I took a trip to Atlanta in 2020 and we had rented a Tahoe and I didn't even go out that night. I stayed in because I wasn't feeling well, but my friends went out and they drove the Tahoe and like somebody like broke into the truck and we were like, what the fuck? And so anyway, but let's keep going, baby. Let me see. Curious to living in Ireland. I have never. Hold on. Chanel said. Hold on. I bought a house in Sicily. I want to spend more time there. Oh, if you bought a house there, you definitely need to be spending more time there.
Might as well.
Oh, baby, if I had accommodations in another country, shit. That is dope. I'm planning to backpack in Southeast Asia. I love that, Chanel. We love Southeast Asia.
Good idea with the backpacking too, because stuff like you can do so much with it when you have a backpack and.
You can move a lot easier.
You can move so much easier, and also like the flights are so cheap, and the amount of with the weights and stuff over there. Like I think here, that is the thing. I think in the states when you're flying out of the states or in the states, I think the maximum pounds that you can have on your bag is like 50 pounds. When you start traveling, I think it's dropped down to 40 or something like that. Yeah,
it's
20 kilograms.
check the airline, the baggage requirements. Thank you so much, Pam.
Yeah.
And by the way, he said Merida. Sorry, because somebody was asking what place you were talking about. It's Merida, Merida. I feel like we need to say Merida. Like we would pronounce it Merida, but it's pronounced Merida. But that is the number 1 safest country in Mexico, and it's the number 2 safest city. Jesus, it's the number 2 safest city in Latin America.
Somebody just said she's in Merida.
Period, Pam. We are here for it. We loved it there.
How is the weather right now? We even heard like it is super hot.
Yeah, we've heard it's like and especially considering like how many people told us it was really hot there in May. I know like we're in the June months. Is it still really blazing hot there? Have you seen the lives from this weekend? We're about to be in No Police State. I have not, Claudia. Thank you, Zeta, for the rose. I understand. I just never been anywhere, so I don't know. No, I understand, Amira. At the end of the day, I always tell people nobody was born a traveler, right? And then, if we are staying in the U.S., we see the news, all of us are bamboozled into believing the U.S. is the best country, the safest country. That's why I tell people you won't know until you travel. And, there are some people where, if you hear Mexico is dangerous, some people are like, you know what? Even though I heard it's dangerous, I see my people out here, I'm going. And, some other people are going to be like, no, I don't want to take the chance. And honestly, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because who am I to tell you, if you think this country is unsafe, you should still go. No, work your way up. If you really, I'm just using Mexico as an example, but if you are I've heard so many things about Mexico and I'm afraid to go there. I'm glad I pronounced your name correctly. If you've heard a lot of things about Mexico and you're I'm afraid to go there, go somewhere else. And, get more travel experience. I was a little hesitant about Brazil. I was telling you this the other day. I've always heard really wild things about Brazil. And the reason that we went was because we had traveled we did a group trip there. And we had traveled with a company called Remote Year. And I knew Remote Year wasn't going to have people anywhere that was, too wild. And, we had a great time in Brazil. So, yeah. Oops. Let me see. I'm so sorry you had to come back here. Oh, well, we're leaving again. We're not here permanently. We are not here permanently. Welcome, y'all who are just not joining. Who's new here? Drop a number 1 for me in the comments. I forgot to say this earlier, but if you have never been in any of my lives before, drop a number 1 for me in the comments. The U.S. is not safe, getting increasingly less safe for BIPOC, especially. I feel it, Claudia. Any advice for people with pets? Can you travel with them abroad?
Yes, you can travel with your pets abroad. Just do your research ahead of time. Most places do, and you just gotta categorize paperwork for your pets.
Yeah, are there countries that restrict? I don't know if there are entire countries. You would probably need to look into the specific, like the city, like the airport that you are planning on flying into. Like that's what you want to look into. But yeah, like you can buy your pet a seat. There are pet relocation agencies. There are options where your pet can travel as cargo. There are different ways that you can travel with pets. I mentioned this earlier, but in case anyone missed it, my Move Abroad bundle, I put it back in my bio. For those of you who have been requesting it, it is back. And you can use the promo code ABROAD2025 to take off an additional 50%. So make sure y'all grab that in the link in my bio. For those of you who are trying to figure out how to get the hell out of the United States to live abroad, for those of you who want to live a slower life, you're tired of feeling unsafe, you're tired of being in a country that is divided as hell, you want to get the hell out of the rat race, get the Move Abroad bundle. Because it is going to tell you everything that you need to know to move abroad. But don't forget to use that promo code. It's ABROAD2025 for an additional 25% off. Let's see. Amira, welcome. Misha, Zeta, Letty, Mira, welcome, y'all. Let me see what else it is. I'm interested in Thailand and Colombia. Love both of those countries. Love, in our top 3 for sure. Hey, Jamal. Thank you so much for the gifts. What'd you say, baby?
I said, no, I was actually, you definitely love Thailand and Colombia too.
Yeah.
It depends what part of Colombia you go to. We love Medellin.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamal, for all the roses. I appreciate you.
Cartagena wasn't our favorite. I feel like it was just a little bit more of a little touristy for us. Just a little too much haggling, and people kind of like to sell you stuff. Even when you say no, they will keep trying.
I hope our liberal U.S. vets want to get out of the U.S. We are looking into Ireland and Spain. I actually have information in the Move Abroad bundle about moving abroad for veterans as well, if you want to check that out. But I've heard great things about Ireland and Spain. Spain's a really popular country right now. We've only been in Spain. We were only in Spain for like a day. So I actually was just telling you yesterday that I need to go back. I want to go back to Spain. I don't know if you want to go back, but I surely am going to Barcelona because it looks lit. Okay.
Yeah, probably going all the time because when we went there, it was like we used to long travel there, and
yeah, it was a long layover, so it wasn't even a real like.
And also, just like the weather was just bad. It was
cold
and
rainy.
And we just came back. We just came from like
we were exhausted. Yeah, that's why I don't even really talk about Spain because I'm not the person to ask about Spain. Thank you for the rose, Pure Life Travels. Our list is Mexico, Kenya, China, Thailand, Japan. Okay, we love this list. Okay. We've actually been to all of these. We didn't spend enough.
Kenya.
Oh yeah, we haven't been in Kenya.
Well,
I was supposed to go to Kenya last year.
Would have been there if everything was on plan. Would have been like we did, but
yeah, we will.
It will happen.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Delana, where's the best, safest place to go? So there is no best, y'all. That's something that I say all the time. It depends on what you're looking for. If somebody said, what is the best city to live in or what is the best state to live in the United States, what would you tell them? And I'm genuinely curious. Would you just drop a state that you live in because you think it's great? I would be like, what do you want? How do you want to live? No, people would not say California.
People say California.
People would say California if you got a lot of fucking money because California is expensive as shit. Mm-hmm. California is really progressive and California is great, but that doesn't make it the best. What if you don't care about that? So it's when there is no such thing as best. I know there's a lot of people on this app that's this is the best city to move to if you are blah blah blah, but you really got to make your own decision, y'all. To be honest with you.
Yeah, what you want. That's the main question. You start with that. What you want. What you're looking for.
Yeah.
Work your way down. And
there's a ton of black folks here. Yeah, in Merida, there is a great black community out there. I would love to live in Aruba. I've never been. Getting ready to go to bed. Oh, thank you for saying hi, Pure Life Travels. Are you still in Thailand? I don't know if you're still in here. Are you still in Thailand? If you are still in here.
It's 2 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
So it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah. It is way safer in Merida than it is in my hometown. I believe it. Did you have any problems getting back in the country? We did not. We did not have any problems. Whenever we came back from Colombia last year, they did stop us. Immigration was it immigration?
It's always there. Every time we go, I don't know about her, but every time I go to Colombia,
it's only been twice. You took it every time. It's been 2 times.
Too many times. Like too many times. Too many coincidences. That's how I started. Like, first time I got stopped and asked the whole question, and then the first time I got asked, he was like, "You had fun over there," and then he did this. I was like, "No."
Yeah. Whenever we came back from Colombia, they did look at us like we were crazy. Whenever we said that we were there for 2.5 months, but in general, like we haven't like not been able to get back in. Thank y'all so much for double tapping, by the way. I appreciate the hearts and the shares and the gifts and all of it. Are y'all going to leave the US permanently? Handsome kills. So I mean, that's a great question. To be honest with you, like we don't really like to use the word permanently right now because we are really we're taking it day by day, month by month. Like we are you about to say something?
I said just how we feel about it, and so we also have like a lot of family here too. It's like, we hate what's it called. It's like we got U.S. has those other spoiling, but also has like a lot of benefits and stuff out there. We have our family that we love, and it's like it's kind of hard to just like just throw that all out.
Yeah, we're never gonna not come back.
Yeah,
like
we
when
have
you
a great relationship with our family too. So
yeah, exactly. Like I mean, so when you say like leave permanently, I don't know. When you say permanently, do you more so mean like never come back? Because if then the answer is no. We're never gonna not come back. We have way too many people here that we love. Like we will always come back here and visit. Will we live here permanently again? I don't know. We're up in the air because it is kind of hard to imagine being here permanently full time with after living the way that we have lived abroad. How are the visa requirements for Mexico right now? Easier, less easy? To my knowledge, they haven't changed, Claudia. It's still 6 months. Now, they did get rid of the like regularization thing for people who are trying to get residency. But as far as like the visa, the regular visa, you can still go there for 6 months. That has not changed to my knowledge. Misha, you said EU, but I don't know what that is responding to. What that was replying to.
What you want to go to?
I didn't ask somebody where they wanted to go.
People were talking about places they want to be.
Oh, okay. Thailand is where it's at. Love Thailand. Went to Aruba and loved it. See, if you went there and loved it, then that's great, right? Because it's like you already know that you love it. So there's a good. And this is assuming. What's my pub? Oh, no worries, Misha. And this is assuming that these places you're visiting, you're actually being somewhat immersed in the culture and you're not just like going to like an all-inclusive resort. Because y'all, please don't get it confused. If you go to a city and you only spend time on a resort, you have not traveled there. So please don't think that because you've spent 5 days in an all-inclusive in Cancun, that means you would want to live in Mexico. Like you need to actually take a trip. You need to take more of a scouting trip where you're going to actually be able to like live on the ground. Because like, for example, we went to our first time we ever traveled together, we took a cruise to Cozumel, Mexico. And to this day, like what can we even tell people about Cozumel? Nothing.
Yeah, like I said, most of those resorts is like it's kind of catered to most time Americans or whatever it is, so you don't really get the authentic ways of actually being in our country and stuff like that. So you want to get out that resort and explore yourself.
Yeah, agreed. Zeta said I really like Ireland. Ireland has never been on my travel list, but y'all are putting it on here because I've been hearing. Huh?
So a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, like I've been hearing some really, really good things about Ireland. So I definitely want to go to Scotland. So I feel like maybe I need to just do that in like a 2-for-1 or something.
This is very interesting. A lot of people talk about it too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We met a couple at a wedding, a black couple, and they were saying they went to Ireland and they said the people are so friendly there.
I'm gonna see that.
Spain is nice, but I prefer Madrid. Madrid is in Spain. What do you mean? Or you just mean like, well, that's where we were. Yeah, we were in Madrid, but like I said, only for a day. So like and it was raining. We were tired. Yeah. Valencia is also fabulous, close to Barcelona, but a little less intense. Oh, I love that. I feel like that would probably be a good spot for living. Like if you don't want to be in like the midst of all the stuff, but you want to be close to it. Which places have you lived with less concerns of natural disasters? I don't think we've been anywhere where we were concerned about natural disasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been anywhere where we were concerned about that.
Yeah, for North Carolina, we have hurricanes here too.
I'm in Thailand. I'm still in Thailand. Okay, perfect. Bangkok. Traveling to Thailand in the next few weeks. August 10th, heading to Hong Kong for 10 days. Yes, Hong Kong. Did you end up getting a teaching job? Do you all monetize on your socials? Do you use VPNs? Great question, Norma. So, well, let me answer those separately. I'll answer the VPN question. You're not even in the camera, bro. What you doing? I'll answer the VPN question first. Yes, we do use VPNs. I would say we use them, like, I don't feel like we've had to use them. Like, we don't, it's not like, oh, we have like remote jobs that we're hiding from or that we're hiding our location from. But in general, just because there are some websites that don't allow, that are blocked outside of the US, we do use them. And also for our Netflix and stuff, because whenever you go abroad, whenever you were in different countries, whatever they have is what you have. And so like a lot of countries, like they don't even have Hulu at all, or like they don't have Peacock. So we do use a VPN. We actually travel with a Google Chromecast. Yeah, we actually travel with a Google Chromecast. So we do use that. And then do we monetize our socials? Yes. So he is an online personal trainer, and well, you see me. I mean, you're already on my channel. Yes. So I am a digital marketing entrepreneur. I have quite a few different things that I do online, but primarily I sell digital products, and I also do affiliate marketing. And so, yes, I do monetize from social media as well. And for those of you who want to learn how to make money online, I do have a resource in my bio called the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist, where I walk you through so many different ways that you can start making money online, even if you are brand new to making money online. Again, that's called the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist. But for anybody who gets my Move Abroad bundle while I'm live, I'm gonna send you that cash flow guide as a bonus. So if you have the bundle, don't get the cash flow guide, because I'm gonna send it to you. Any advice from a man's perspective? My husband is hesitant because he thinks we need a ton of money. I'm currently studying data analytics to work remote, so we have finances. I'll let you take it away.
You do have plans over there, and you don't need that much money to, especially I feel like, no, it's not, it's true. Most countries that you travel to and stuff, you don't need that much money, especially compared to the US and stuff. Like most countries, it's much affordable to live there and stuff. Like I said, yeah, like I said, you don't need that much money. The US, like I said, it's just a rich country, and everything is just like overpriced to us to a point where it's like, everything is like you feel like you need money, you need a lot of money. Or one of the main things, like when we travel and stuff, like one of the most expensive things that we have to worry about is our tickets and lodging, like where we stay, and just
the accommodations. Yeah,
everything else like that. So you can make work and stuff like that. Most places, you can eat food for less than $10. It just depends where you go and stuff. It just depends where you go and stuff out there. In most places, so compared to like here and stuff, where,
the cost of living is definitely a lot less expensive. So it's not like you don't need money, right? Like anywhere you live, like you're gonna need money to take care of yourself, but it's not as much as in the US. So for example, last night, remember right now, y'all, we're in the US. Last night we went to this wine and tapas place. Y'all, this food was so bad. It was
top to bottom.
It was
like
just
the wine was alright. The food was not. The food was not. I'm not saying that. The food was bad. The food was bad.
The food was bad. I'm not gonna say the wine was bad. The wine wasn't. I don't think. Okay, here's the point. The point we want to make is that last night we went out and it cost us $80, and we got 3 small plates, and then we got, I know tapas are like small plates, so we got 3 small plates, and we got 2 wine flights, right? And so you get like this much and like 3 glasses, and it was like $80. Hey Rodney. So yes, Niche. Well, we are in North Carolina right now. So like this is probably the like 3rd or 4th time that I've eaten out here in the past few weeks, and like y'all, eating out here in the US, it's like anything less than like $60 to $80 for 2 people. It's that, like, that's the norm, is what I'm trying to say. Like it is like the norm to go out, and when you leave the house, you go out to eat, your default is like you're going to be paying like $60, $80. And I think, but whenever you are abroad in these countries where the US dollar is stronger, you can go out to eat and you can be paying half of that. Like
what's that place that we went to that we was talking about in Colombia? That nice place that we all went to. Like we had a drink, had like a live entertainment. And all that.
That's what I was about to say. Like we went to the only time we paid that in Medellin. We went to this super, super nice place. Like, oh my God, the views were beautiful. We both got drinks. We got appetizer. We got entrees. And it was $80 for both of us. And that was the most expensive thing that we had even had while we were, like the whole time that we were there. So the thing is, the cost of living is a lot different. So, think about, and also like in the US, if you move abroad, I'm assuming you're not going to take your car. Most people don't take their car, so you're not going to be paying for gas. You're not going to be paying for like car insurance. So it really is a matter of looking at it from a bigger perspective and looking at your cost of living as a whole. So, and also even the other thing I was going to say is like, think about how you want to live, right? How bougie are you? Yeah. I don't know. Let me know in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, how bougie are you? Because I feel like I like to land on like, I'm probably like a 6 or a 7. Like I'm bougie, but I'm not the most bougie person that you will ever meet. Okay.
And also, I feel like when you travel, your bougie standards definitely kind of drop down.
Some people, not everybody. Yeah, not everybody. Kim said, "Can he talk?"
But no. In general, I feel like in general, like when you do travel, your expectation or your bouginess should drop down, or it will drop down, because I feel like if you have that high expectation of like everything should be like 5-star how it is in the US and stuff like that, you're not really gonna have that much of a good time and stuff like that, because like let's say we went to a restaurant, like how in the States if you want a dinner and you want to exchange, like you want to switch something out, you can do that. Oh, let me switch this out. You can make substitution. Like when you go across whatever you see on that paper, whatever is there, that is it. It's like how your mom tell you this is what we're having for dinner. This is what they have and stuff. You can pay it or not and whatever. And there is no I either speak to the manager, get out of my business, get out of my store type of shit. That's how it really is. And
they don't care.
Yeah, it's like it's not rude or whatever. That's the culture.
It's different. Like in the US, like we expect everybody to kiss our ass. We want it how we want it, when we want it, where we want it. And like it's not like that when you go abroad.
No, it's like the stuff we here in Mexico. Like in Mexico, when we was out there and people were talking about like a certain way, like how the people are and stuff like that. They're not gonna kiss your ass or whatever it is. Like they have a certain way. Like if their idea was to make $100 for the day, and the plan was to be there all day, and 12 o'clock comes, they make that $100. Deuces, I'm out. Like normally, I feel like I'm not really going over there and killing myself for it.
Because they work to live, they don't live to work.
That was another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Like, about that whole like work to live and stuff, where it's just like I saw somebody that was complaining about this not too long ago, was kind of saying like people should not be going. I think it was here when it was like in the state here, when she was saying that people should not be as soon as they get off work, they should not be rushing to go home. I know I do, like, especially like after you work a long day, I'm talking to a lot of people and stuff like that. I want to go home, and like I said, I understand that. Like I said, we all feel that. Like, you kind of feel like you're just working and stuff like that. Is one of the big things as a trainer. Like I talk to a lot of people, and one of the things like that I'm kind of going across, and one of the main thing I'm hearing from people is just saying like people the normal thing nowadays is like you have to have 2 jobs. Which it shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. And, and also another thing where you kind of feel like you don't have like you can't really have fun. Like once you're training, you ask people like what's their hobby and stuff. And
what hobby? I work.
That's the thing.
I work and I'm tired.
That's the number one answer right there. Nobody people don't have hobbies because they're always working and like they don't really have that much time. Like everything, like the US, everything's around like your whole personality is revolved around your job. You meet somebody. What do you do? Like, and that is not really, that's not how life should be. Like when you travel outside the country and stuff like that, you see people when they get off work, they're able to have time to enjoy outside. Kids staying outside till like 10 o'clock. You don't have to worry about your baby getting snatched up by nobody because nobody wants your kids. Nobody's not a pervert. Nobody's not all of that.
I wouldn't say nobody, but it's a lot less.
Yeah, it's much less. People are not crazy. People are not doing like. People are not being like just being crazy and all. But like it's more community wise where. In the US and stuff like that, people are more like me. Like I grew up, I wasn't born in the state and stuff like that. I grew up in Africa. I was born in Sierra Leone. So, how I grew up was like everybody was, you do something, your neighbor's gonna tell you, he's gonna smack you, and then if you go home like this, my neighbor did this to me, you're gonna get double beaten too. Or it's like you look out for each other compared to like the state. It's like.
Every man for himself.
It's like just me and my household. I don't care. Like, it's like the whole thing that's going on in the U.S. now. Like, you know, the whole people getting picked up for no reason. It's like that is not okay. Whatever it is, and that is one thing that you see when you.
Excuse me.
And I feel like the way the U.S. the way how things are moving in the country is like it's kind of set up like that. Where you kind of like everybody have to be for themselves. Everybody have to be selfish. And when you start thinking like being like in a community, being as a team player. Like, that's when you start having problems, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this or whatever it is. Like, most of the things they do is to make you feel like you want to be alone. Like, you know, I don't want my neighbor house to be this close to my house. I want, like, 10 acres, like, to be... And that's some other things that I've noticed, especially after the traveling out of the country. Like, there's some things you say, and it's like, why am I saying that? Like, when you travel...
It's almost weird, like, how, like... This, like, the culture in this country, the way that we are, like, so averse to other people. Like, I remember telling you whenever, like, I'm out walking and stuff, and it's like sometimes, like, and I'm not, I'm humble, I will admit it. Like, sometimes, like, if I'm walking, I'm not even kidding. Like, people will be like, yeah, like, it'll be like somebody walking and then, like, I cross the street or they cross the street. Like, we can't even walk past each other. And I'm like, what is wrong with us? Like, how many of y'all, drop a yes in the comments if y'all are willing to admit, have you ever, like, gotten fast food or whatever food and you were eating in your car and somebody pulled up in the car beside you and you got a whole fucking attitude? Like, why would you sit in the car beside me? You got this whole parking lot, or you're somewhere sitting in public and somebody comes and sits beside you and you get an attitude. Like, y'all, we're not supposed to be averse to other humans. Like, we're not supposed to want to be repelled, but like that's so normal here. And I remember getting that culture shock whenever I first lived abroad in 2019 because like I was on space. And this is before COVID, baby. This was even before COVID. Like, I didn't realize how much personal space mattered to me until I was in Latin America. And I was like, why are these people always standing so close to me? But it's different culturally. Like, it's a completely different thing. Hold on, I'm very behind. Hello, Blue. How are you? I don't even know if you're still in here. This comment was from a while ago. Are you missing traveling already? You already know I am. Would you need a VPN to monetize on TikTok? I think if you go somewhere where TikTok is illegal, then yeah. But I haven't needed a VPN for TikTok anywhere. Yeah. September, thinking about going to Saipan. It's a U.S. territory. Let's get it. Okay, I think I answered that. Kim is the one who is like, can he talk? Ask questions like what? I mean, big deal. I can search the internet or go myself. Oh, Kim, you're a troll. Oh, you're a shit talker. Okay, I got it now. Cool. It all makes sense. And it's all too salty or too sweet. Do you mean the food? Have you traveled anywhere where you didn't have to do a border run? I mean, well, we've... most of the places we've been, the only places we ever did a border run was Thailand. Yeah. We didn't do a border run anywhere else. Like, in
order for you to do a border, you gotta stay there long enough for you to do that. So most places you can just go to another country, go next door for like a couple of days and come back.
I know, baby, but she's specifically saying, are there any countries where you didn't have? So it's not about the. It's about whatever tourist or whatever visa you're on. Yeah. Like, so it's not really like country specific. I mean, it is, but I mean, like, it's specific to whatever country you want to go to. I don't know if that made sense. Let me know if I did not answer that question. My cost of living here in Bangkok is $1,200 a month, period. Period.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that person's living pretty good too.
Okay, and then LaShonda said on a scale of 1 to 10, her bougie is 7. Okay, so we on the same page. Bougie, but don't have the bank account to match. 45% bougie, but came from humble beginnings, so I can adjust. Yeah, Misha, we are the same. I'm bougie, but I can live without a car abroad. Yeah, I mean, most places abroad, you don't even need a car. Yeah.
Public transportation is so affordable and so easy to use. Like,
yeah, exactly. I have 2 jobs to afford my car and luxury things. Yeah, like going back to what he was saying, like, you know, this, like how, I mean, in general, in the U.S., a lot of times it's like very, very like hustle culture, very much like, even what you were saying about, what do you do, right? Like, think about in the U.S., like, that's such a common question you ask somebody when you first meet them. Like, you know, what do you do? What do you do? Like, we're so in a hurry to label people based on what they do for work. Like, how much money do they make? Whenever me and him are abroad, y'all, I am not even kidding. When I tell you, like, we really get to know people. People rarely, I would say 80% of the conversations we have People do not ask us what we do until we have been talking for hours, years, weeks, depending on the relationship, right? Like if we hang out with somebody multiple times, like here in the US, it's like, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? Like,
how can this person help me?
Yeah, like it's just a completely different culture. Here in Bangkok, haven't had to work in 5 months, period. That's how us 80s babies were raised. That's how I was growing up in the 70s. Listen, we were born in the 90s, so I don't know. What's wrong with having acres? I don't think anybody said there's anything wrong with having acres.
No, there's nothing wrong. I guess is what I said about having like space. But there's nothing wrong with that. The whole point is just people that don't want that much. Like people have problem being next to each other. That was my main point. I guess if you didn't, I guess the analogy of me saying that wasn't understanding to you, but it's like the whole point was somebody sitting next to each other. Like, because most of the time, like obviously it's my wife or whatever it is, but if I'm sitting like
Am I your wife?
I don't want somebody this close to me. In general, whatever it is, like that's just like that is just how we all have been and how we all like, and just like I said, if when you're abroad and stuff, like you're on a bus, people can just stand next to you like this or whatever it is. Just even think about that.
This is a little close.
That night when we almost missed our bus.
But that was different. We had to be close.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of saying that would never fly here.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, does it? No, it is like that. Yes, it is in New York on the subway.
There's a buses. I'm just talking about like most places. You're not gonna be like they're not allowing people to stand up and like.
But that's.
You talk about more of like the safety.
U.S. has a lot more safety precautions. I mean, yeah, but we also see like children on motorbikes abroad.
We also don't see them in accidents either.
Yeah, touche. I get that because it's usually men and they don't leave me alone. It's a valid question. Why would you park next to someone in an entirely empty parking lot? It's different if they have no options. I travel a lot internationally, so I get it. Love your platform. Thank you so much. How long did you all live abroad? So Nene, we left the U.S. last year. We left February 4th. This is our third visit to the U.S., so we're going abroad again. We're not here permanently. And that actually, nice as being back in the U.S. after living abroad, it probably sounds like we're here permanently. No, we not. We leaving again. We're back and forth. I'm from the country, so I never got that culture shock when it comes to hospitality. $1,200 total. Child, don't be shocked. I love the conversation about the culture of isolation. Thank you, Norma. Thank you for giving me the word. Yes, the culture of isolation. That's a very good way to put it. Thank y'all for all the double tapping, by the way. I appreciate the hearts, y'all. And don't forget, for those of y'all who are serious about moving abroad, I do have the Move Abroad bundle at the link in my bio for 50% off. Don't forget to use that promo code abroad 2025 to get the additional discount. Y'all, the thing is, so many people talk about how much they want to move abroad and live abroad, and we want it to be really complicated. Like, we want it to be this thing that is so impossible and so hard. But I'm going to be honest with you. The absolute easiest way to move out of the U.S., I'm going to say for those of you who, and let me know in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about moving out of the U.S.? Or how serious are you about living abroad? And there is no shade. If you're like, I'm a 1, I don't know if I even want to do this. If you're like, I'm a 10, get me the hell out of here. Let me know in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about leaving the U.S.? And again, there is no right or wrong answer. I actually want you to put your number in the comments because I want you to have some self-awareness. Is this something where you're like, oh, that sounds like it would be fun, but I don't know? Is this something where it's like, no, I for sure want to get the hell out of here? Are you like, nah, I can travel, but I don't ever want to live out of this country? Like, there's no right or wrong answer. Like, you have to know what's best for you. And I see some 10s, I see some 9s. So for y'all who are serious, you're welcome, Korean owner. For those of you who are serious about moving abroad, if you want to get out of the U.S. in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to tell you the easiest fucking way. And this is something that's nobody on this. I don't know why nobody is talking about this. I can talk to you.
My 5 and 10 days.
No, I don't know why. Like, nobody is talking about the power of being fucking flexible. People get on here and they want me to go into detail about this visa and that visa. They want to know how much money did y'all save up. We didn't save up no fucking money. You want me to be honest with you? We didn't. We quit our job. I quit I call it my big girl corporate job. I quit mine in December 2023. He quit his January 2024, like 5 days before we left. Okay, we did not save a bunch of money because we knew that we were going to be making money while we were traveling. And I'm not telling you that you have to move abroad the way that we moved abroad, but I'm telling you, you don't have to take another year, 2, 3, 5 years to move abroad. Now, if you have your own, personal situation where you're just like, I need that time, that's cool. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who know. I'm talking to people who know that if you are serious, you can be out of the U.S. in the next 3 to 6 months. Be willing to be flexible. Take your ass to Mexico. You can stay there for 6 months on a tourist visa, which is basically just like the regular visa whenever you travel there. You can go ahead and go to Mexico, even if it's not your permanent place. You can at least be out of the U.S. Albania, drop the word yes in the comments. Have y'all heard of the country Albania? Yes or no? Y'all,
the country is booming. Like a lot of people love it. Like so we talk about the nature and stuff like that.
I hear it's beautiful there. So it's a place in Europe. It's a country in Europe. I have 2 friends who live in Germany. They have both told me that Albania is so beautiful. Y'all, I hear Albania is such a budget travel destination. So the cost of living there is really, really affordable. And y'all, they are letting U.S. citizens stay there for an entire year. Mm-hmm. People out here talking about, oh my God, I've been trying to get residency in this country. Oh my God, I've been wanting to leave the U.S., but my digital nomad visa got denied for this place. Go to Albania. You can stay there for a whole year. And y'all, and you can do and there are other countries out there that have places that you can stay for other countries out there where U.S. citizens can stay like 6 months to a year. If you are serious about getting out of the U.S., stop trying to make your move perfect. Because I hate to break it to you, baby, but it don't matter how much you plan. Your move is not going to be perfect. You're going to have unexpected things. You're going to have setbacks. There are going to be things that you never expected to happen, and they're going to happen. What you go do? Are you going to stay in the U.S.? If you are, cool. But if you're not, but if you know that you want to move abroad, you got to focus on here. You got to focus on your mindset. You got to focus on the thoughts that you're having around this. Stop talking yourself down. Stop doubting yourself. There's no reason for us to be able to do this. I grew up black and broke in the U.S., okay? He came to this country as a refugee when he was 9, 10 years old. Like, what are we talking about? We didn't grow up with money. We didn't grow up with resources. We didn't grow up in some special circumstance where, we were just plucked from a crowd of lucky people. We decided that we wanted to do this, and we made it happen. There's so many different ways that you can move abroad. There is no perfect route. You want to know what's the best country? There is no best country. What's the best visa? There is no best visa. So figure out what's going to work best for you, but stop letting the time pass. Stop letting more and more time pass where you want to be living abroad, but you're still living in a country where you feel unsafe. You still living in a country where you're being poisoned by the food. You still live in a country where you see the cops and your heart rate speeds up, okay? Like, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be here right now if you don't want to be here. And if you don't know, if you need help, y'all, it's 2025. You have the internet. There's so many resources out there. Get out there and do your research. I've already done a lot of the research for you. That's why I said to take advantage of my Move Abroad bundle. I took it out of my bio, but I put it back in there today. It's 50% off. Use that promo code ABROAD 2025. For those of you who are serious and you want some guidance and you don't want to have to do all the research yourself, I answer all of these questions in the Move Abroad bundle. How to choose a country that's best for you. How to get your health insurance. What if you are LGBTQ plus? What if you are a veteran? All of these things. How to move with pets. How to move with kids. Y'all, all of this and so much more is in the bundle. It's literally a 21-page guide and 12 videos. If you think this live was informative, y'all, there are 12 of these in the Move Abroad bundle. Like I said, it's at the link in my bio. And for those of you who get it while I'm live, I'm going to also send you my cash flow come up checklist, because everybody be asking how to make more money. How do I make money? How do I get a remote job? How do I start my own business? How do I make money with digital marketing? All of that is in my cash flow come up checklist. For those of you who get the bundle, the Move Abroad bundle while I'm live, I'm going to send you that checklist as a bonus, because I love people who take fucking action. For the people who are for real, like I said, if you're still thinking about it, you're like, sis, I don't know, that's fine. But for those of you who are like, Bianca, I know I want to leave. I want a better life for my children. I want a better life for me because I've dedicated my entire fucking life to my children. I want to know what it's like to live a slow life. I want to get the hell out of the rat race. For those of you who feel like that, take advantage of the bundle while I still have it in there. And don't forget to use the promo code, because sometimes y'all be forgetting, okay? Use that promo code ABROAD 2025. It's next to Italy. Oh, you're talking about Albania. A luxury minimalist traveler says, preach. Y'all, honestly, you can make it happen. Like I said, there's no reason for us to be here other than the fact that we decided to make it happen despite the odds. Okay? Like, we're in North Carolina. We're not even in one of the sexy states. Okay? When we go abroad, people haven't even heard of North Carolina. Okay? Like, if we can do this, you can do this. Stop psyching yourself out. Stop telling yourself you can't do it. Stop thinking it's too hard. Stop thinking it has to be too expensive. Where there is a will, there is a way. And in the bundle, I even talk about how to travel on a budget. Some of y'all are like, oh, I don't even know how I'm going to afford the flight. I even show you in the bundle how to find cheap flights for your move abroad. Y'all, the information is out there, but the question is, what are you going to do about it? For those of you who are serious, if you want to take advantage of the live bonus, you have a few more minutes because we're about to get up off here because it's Sunday and we're ready to go chill out now. But those of you who have already gotten the bundle, I'm going to send you your bonus in the next like 5-10 minutes whenever I get off of here. I have a trucking business, but I want to move to Mexico. Can I re-enter? Can you re-enter what? Can you re-enter the US? I don't know. That's something I'm going to tell you to go look up because I don't know. And I'm not about to sit here and tell you wrong.
You show you the whole thing. What time you got the rest of the ID? Can you enter what?
While applying for residency, I did. What you talking about? Yeah, honestly, Miss Silk, I don't know. So that's something I would definitely look up. Any more questions before we hop off of here? Cause yeah, I'm hot. Okay, somebody's talking to somebody else. All right, well, if y'all don't have any more questions, we about to get up off of here. Like I said, don't forget to take advantage of the bundle at the link in my bio. Use that promo code abroad 2025. Oh, thank you, Niche. It's an owl with the letter. It's like a Harry Potter shirt. Thank you. All right, y'all, we about to get up off of here, but thank y'all so much for joining. Please make sure y'all hit follow. I really appreciate it. Those of you who got the bundle, I'm about to send you your bonuses. And yeah, we will catch y'all next time. We'll be back on here. Okay? Bye, y'all.